Good morning. This is Dr. Martin. Today, Noah, my morning co-op, is going to be presenting to us on a non-medical topic. His is going to be the history of skiing. So, Noah, take us away.
All right, awesome. Well, roughly 10,000 years ago during the last ice age, reindeer as well as elk began migrating north from Central Asia. And because of that, hunters had to find a convenient way to be able to keep up with these animals to hunt them while they're trudging through snow. And obviously, when you're running through snow, it's going to be way harder to keep up with them. So, what they decide to do is they take little planks of wood, like seen here and here, and they just take them and they tie it to their toe and they tie it to the bottom of a piece of wood so they could glide across the snow better. And this started to actually pick up with tons of hunters all over in this area, and they realized this was way easier. And because of that, actually, it started to even catch on with militaries, and militaries started to see a benefit in it. So during the 18th century, Scandinavians had organized brigades of ski troops, actually, and in their spare time, obviously, if you have something on your feet and you're gliding around, you're going to want to race people. And thanks to that, these troops are actually known for organizing some of the first ever ski competitions. However, up until the 1840s actually, this was all skiing was. It was really just a piece of wood, string tied to your feet, and then tie it back to the piece of wood, and there was no like heel strap. It was just the front, so it could only be like a cross country ski kind of deal, just glide across the snow. You couldn't go fast. You couldn't really go down any steep terrain. You couldn't do jumps, catch any cool air or anything. So until the 1840s, a man named Sondre Norheim came around, and he's now known as the father of modern day skiing. And he realized, what if I put a heel strap on the back? So then your ski stays connected to you, and because of that, you can now go faster. You can hit jumps, and you can do much steeper terrain, way easier, not have to worry about your skis falling off. This helped to make it more into a recreational type deal because of this heel strap, because now more people that weren't in the military and weren't hunters saw a convenient way to travel and just as something fun to do with friends. And around the 1860s, actually, there were a whole bunch of people that would try to go north in Europe to go skiing on the mountains, and so passenger trains as well as even mail trains started to make trips to take people there specifically just to ski. However, it still wasn't even that big of a sport until roughly the 1950s, but it still didn't even hit the U.S. till the late 1800s. And in 1905, when it finally came to the U.S., the National Ski Association is founded actually here in Michigan in the UP by Carl Telfson. And then even though it's here in the U.S. and around most of the rest of the world right now, it's still not even really like considered like a sport. There's still not a distinct place to go. So the first actual ski resort isn't even founded until 1907, and it was founded by the French an hour away from Geneva, Switzerland. And this resort is actually still in use today. You can ski there to this day. And until 1908, when you wanted to ski, you'd ski down the hill, you'd take all your stuff, take it off, and then climb up the hill. So you'd be skiing for what, 30 seconds to a minute, then you have to hike 5 minutes, do the same thing over and over again. But thankfully, in Germany in 1908, the first mechanical ski toe was made out of a watermill.
Those people would have been in good shape, though.
Oh, yeah.
Going down the mountain and then turning around and walking up the mountain.
You take about 4 runs, you'd have your workout done for the whole day.
Woo!
And then, this, however, although it was easier, this still wasn't really technically a sport yet until the Third Olympic Games, which was held in Germany, which they included ski racing, and this is what helped to really show the rest of the world like what skiing was and how much fun it is, and it's a great winter activity. And until the 1960s, there still wasn't even really that much, I guess, new technology in it. It was still pieces of wood, but then in the 60s, fiberglass skis were made, which made it lighter and way easier to turn and navigate. So
Super cool.
all around. And then you'd think it'd get easier than that, but until the early 2000s, there really wasn't any new technology in skiing again. In the early 2000s, snowboarders were hitting jumps and rails at ski hills, and skiers wanted to get into that. But because they only had the fiberglass skis, and they were looking at skis that didn't have a tip in the back, like how snowboards have a tip in the front and the back, it was hard to hit jumps and rails, and they'd be really thin under the foot, so if you're trying to hit a rail, you wouldn't have much balance. Thankfully, Salomon came out about 2005 or 2006, I want to say, and made the first ever twin tip, which you can see here. This is a new twin tip. This isn't the one Salomon made, but you have a tip in the front, a tip in the back, and the ski stays pretty much the same width throughout the entire ski. So this made it easier to just jumps, rails, and we even found out it benefits powder skiing too because you have a wider underfoot. And actually, in 2014, finally, the Olympic Games was brought in with freestyle skiing, and this is where you can hit jumps and rails. So freestyle skiing is now officially a sport, and it's an insane trend. You see a lot of teenagers doing now, and actually the first year in 2014 in Sochi, we had Americans sweep the podium. We had Nick Epper in bronze, Gus Kenworthy silver, and Josh Christensen in gold, which is pretty big for America to come in like that and push a sport and then sweep the whole area. And it's a sport that you can do literally your entire life. My grandparents do it. I know tons of people in their 60s and 70s that do it, and they've been doing it since they've been 15, 20 in that area. There's a little risk of injury as long as you know what you're doing. That plays a part. It's a great family bonding activity too, and it's a very social sport. Everybody on the ski hill is awesome. We all share something in common. We all just want to go out and have fun.
Did you get any information about when snowboarding came sort of into play, and when did that really get going?
Snowboarding would have been kicked in around the same time. However, the whole terrain park aspect, but then that will help to blow up skiing and freestyle skiing. Snowboarding started like jumps and rails and all that in roughly 1990s, early 2000s, and then skiers kind of got jealous. Then we made twin tips, and boom,
Awesome.
Here we are.
You're a ski guy, not a snowboard guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big ski guy.
Are the ski guys a little bit like to the snowboard people and vice versa?
There's a rivalry between them.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I let my friends have it at snowboard. Yeah, I rip into them about it for
Nice.
sure. Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to educate us. We appreciate you.